Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. It's been a while since I've uploaded any videos, and I've had a lot of people asking me lately what in the world is going on. So I figured now is just as good a time as any to film a big ol' update video that's going to cover some really exciting news on the personal side, as well as the various projects and the type of content that you'll be able to expect from the channel in the next few months. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, I'd like to welcome you all to the site of our future home. Last year, April 2018, my wife and I decided to sell our house and buy this beautiful piece of property that was a bit further into the country with the end goal of being able to build our dream house here. It's very quiet. There's a neighboring farm with cows. There's donkeys way down the street. It's a wonderful place, and I can't wait to see what we make of it over time, but progress was a little slow. It took us a little bit longer than what we were hoping for as far as being able to break ground, a little over a year actually. But as you can see, we have not only broken ground, but the footings are poured, block is being delivered, stuff is happening, and I cannot tell you how exciting it is to finally be at this point, because this has been a huge weight on my shoulders, this entire time. The planning of it is it's incredible, because we're trying to do the majority of it ourselves with the help of, our wonderful family and friends, and, together we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get as involved with this as I can, put in a lot of sweat equity, but it's just an exciting process. All in all, we have about 15 acres of land, which is fantastic. The scenery is beautiful out here. Tons of room to grow. The property was mainly used for cutting hay for horses and livestock, and by the time we're all finished building, it'll, whatever's left is still going to be used for farming and whatnot. That row of trees separates like the other side of the property, but it's one of those opportunities that just comes up once in a lifetime, and you seize it without question. It's just a no-brainer. It's a ton of work. It's been a ton of work, and it's going to be a ton of work. There's going to be a lot of stress and headaches, but I'm telling you what, this has been such a rewarding process so far that I can't believe where we're at. I'm so excited for the future. I know everyone's probably familiar with the shop by now, because that's where I film all of my project content now. Of course, you gotta build the big garage for the house, right? Priorities, gotta make sure all the bases are taken care of. But seriously though, the town and the neighborhood that we were living in before, I could have never, ever built something like that. Too many rules and regulations and restrictions, and worrying about some random neighbor down the street complaining about what you're doing. I'm not all about that. Move a little further into the country, or at least just outside the city limits, where you don't have to worry about anybody telling you anything. So very nice. We'll head back there in just a second to cover all of the project and personal vehicle updates and stuff, but let me go ahead and walk you down into the foundation of the new house, and we'll talk about that for a second. Right now I'm standing at the back right corner of the house. You can almost think of it as a big plus. So you have a center section that juts out, two side sections, something like that. The center section is 40 feet by 60 feet. The outer sections, if I remember correctly, are 28 feet by 32 feet. So it's a little over 4,000 square feet. Very big house. It's bigger than we need for sure, but it's one of those instances that taking your time, being patient, doing the proper research, and meeting the right people has allowed us to build this bigger than what we could have afforded otherwise, because we've just been getting some really, really good deals on stuff. It pays to know someone who knows someone who knows someone, that kind of deal. But, finding good deals whenever we can on wood and building materials, utilizing some high quality like salvage and surplus stuff, going to auctions and just blah, 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 Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever. You can really piece something amazing together if you just take the time and don't rush. So again, we are able to build this a lot bigger than what we were originally intending, but I'm very thankful for it. We're moving closer towards that dream home while still being able to stay on somewhat of a budget. Now I'm standing about where the front door is going to be. You walk in to the foyer, and off to the right, there'll be a living room, a feeder room that attaches to it. Over here, there'll be an office, closet, half bath, exercise room, laundry room, spare bedrooms, pantry, kitchen, dining area, master bedroom, bathroom, closet, all of that over there. Just a lot of stuff crammed into here. We wanted a house that we could grow into over the years, something that we could spend the rest of our lives in. And you know, if it takes us a little bit longer to get this done, to do it right the first time, then so be it. Again, patience is a virtue. But anyway, that's enough of the house. I'll keep you guys updated on, you know, little bits of progress and stuff through all the social platforms. By the way, if anybody needs dirt, we got way too much. I have no idea what we're gonna do with all that dirt. I'm heading over to the shop right now so we can talk about some of the project car updates. That is the well house. We finally have water run out to the shop, which is fantastic because it has been over 90 degrees fairly regularly now. I'm not complaining. It's been pretty dry. We had an extremely wet winter, but ooh, it's hot, especially in a metal shop with no air conditioning. But anyway, let's get to it. And here we are. This is where all of the movie magic happens with project cars, that is. There's the truck. There's the press vehicle that I've had for a really long time now and still haven't heard back to see if they're ever going to pick it up. But anyway, it's really, really fun. Video's already on the channel if you'd like to see it. But anyway, the shop is 42 feet by 40 feet, 3 bays. Most of it's used for storage for the house on either side, but I did carve out some room to keep the Chevelle and the frame for the S10 crew cab build, which is coming up really, really, really soon. I'll talk about that in just a second. And if you didn't notice already, I bought another S10. That probably doesn't surprise anybody anymore. Some people call it a problem. Some people call it an addiction. I call it a passion. I love these things. Way, way more than probably anybody should. But I have decided not to restore the 93 regular cab. I put a video up on this a while back talking about like some of the issues and whatnot that it has. I have since fixed, you know, all the important bits to get it back roadworthy and stuff, but it's just got a little bit more rust on the frame and stuff that I honestly want to fool with, and it's fantastic using it on the land for hauling supplies and going from here to there and whatnot. So I'm just going to use it as a farm vehicle basically. So I accidentally came upon this gem. It's a 1989 extended cab automatic with the 4.3 TBI engine, Z-Block. 130,000 miles. It did not run, but we got it to run, kinda. I still have to do the intro video on that. I will be introducing this into its own, like, just simple fixer-upper DIY restoration series, whatever you want to call it, pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll post updates, you know, again through the social platforms and stuff when you can expect the first piece of content. If push comes to shove, this thing actually has a lot of really good parts to use, like body panels and whatnot. I actually got rid of the old bed a while back for that blue bed because this one is in much better shape. The other one was trashed, and I wanted something nicer to start with if I decided to fix it up, and that was kind of a waste, but you know, it is what it is. It's just kind of funny seeing a red truck with a blue bed, but it's actually going to get funnier because these doors are rotted across the bottom, so I'm going to take these off and use the window frames to fabricate new window frames for the rear doors of the S10 crew cab so it'll match with the front. You know, it looks weird as it is right now. I talked about that a lot more in the video that my friend Joseph and I did of tearing the truck down to the frame. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. It'll make a lot more sense and you can learn more about, you know, what's going on with that. But let's quickly change gears and talk about this one right fast. This thing is super rad. I've been collecting new old stock and OEM replacement parts for S10s for what seems like forever now, so I could do a proper restoration, and I'm very, very excited about working on this truck. This is a much better foundation to start from than that truck was. Totally rust free, which is very rare for an S10. Like, the frame is so clean. There's just some dents and dings that need to be taken out of it. There's a little bit of hail damage, but nothing that isn't easily fixed. That's why I have body panels from that other truck that I can use if need be. There's a little damage on the passenger front quarter where it was just, you know, had a little love tap. Ooh, sorry, don't want to scratch that pristine paint. But so we can get this thing right as rain with relative ease. These things are really simple to work on, and you know, parts are pretty plentiful, and you can pretty much do whatever you want with them. I just want this to be a nice, clean daily driver. I don't know, I even like the factory rally wheels. Clean, simple, maybe with a little white wall tire. That would look nice. The other really cool thing about this truck is that it has red interior, which is kind of my thing. Red on red. I used to have a Charger in this color scheme, and I just think it looks really nice. 1989, it's actually in really good shape. It can use a little love here and there. Nothing too bad, but it's a great starting point. I only paid $750 for this truck. It was a total bargain because it didn't run. It was a little bit of a risk, but we got it running, like I said. I'll show all that stuff in, you know, the first video that I do on this. I think that I need to replace the fuel sending unit, probably going to replace the gas tank and drain all the, you know, give it fresh gas, fuel filter and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the only thing that's really preventing this from getting out on the road aside from tires and whatnot, but we will tackle all of that in good time. That door closes really nice. Pumped for that. Anyway, the S10 crew cab build. So if parts start coming in time, my plan is to really start hitting this build sometime in June. The first step is going to be building the suspension. I touched on this a little bit in the last video where I stripped the frame all the way down so I can get you know, it blasted and cleaned up so the fabrication and stuff can take place. But we're going to be doing a bagged mini truck build, and we're probably going to dually the rear end. I'll talk more about that in the next episode of this truck, but very pumped about that. Also, if you didn't see, I can't remember when I talked about this, maybe the last Jimmy episode or 240, I don't know. But anyway, I have a 6-liter LQ4 Vortec V8 for that truck. Yep. We're going to have a lot of fun with this, maybe spice it up a little bit. I'm not too sure. This originally came out of a Denali, so it's an LS-based motor, iron block instead of an aluminum block, blah, blah, blah. You guys already know about LS stuff by now, but Jimmy's doing good. Talk about the 240 in just a moment. We've already talked about that. Of course, we have the 48 Ford Super Deluxe. I've had this since January. It's a very special car to me. I put up a video on it not too long ago, and if you haven't checked it out, I highly encourage you to do so because it was, you know, it was a lot of fun to put together. It was a very special video. But anyway, this is, like I said, 1948. It has the original flathead V8, 3-speed manual transmission. I love this car. It is a total time capsule. All the important stuff has been done to it so I can drive it through town, enjoy it. I drive this all the time. I love it so much. There's some little things here and there that I want to do to it over time, but I definitely want to preserve that originality. It's just, you know, it's only original once, and just look at it. It's beautiful. Of course, just like I did back in the day when we did all of the channel updates and personal vehicle updates and stuff, before we head into the shop right fast and talk about the Jimmy and the 240, let's go ahead and do some startups of everything sitting here. First off, my 2015 GMC Sierra 3500 Denali. I've had this truck for a little over a year now. It's gonna hit 80,000 miles pretty soon. It's also got the Duramax turbo diesel V8. I've gotten a lot of fantastic use out of this truck. Hauling cars, furniture, building materials, and more. Now for the Slingshot, which again isn't mine, it's just a press loaner that I've had for a while. The video is already up on the channel if you'd like to check it out. Foot on clutch, and starter button in the console. This has a 2.4 liter GM Ecotec 4-cylinder, 5-speed manual. Like I said, my 48 Ford Super Deluxe has a flathead V8. It's 239 cubic inches, and there's a 3-speed manual transmission on the column, otherwise known as 3 on the tree. The ignition cylinder is down on the steering column. You would just turn the power on, put your foot on the clutch, and there's a starter button on the left-hand side of the dash. This thing purrs like a kitten. Next, we have the 93 S10. It's a 2.8 liter V6 and a 5-speed manual transmission. And last but not least, the new truck. I'll talk about what we had to do to get the truck running in the first place, but it won't stay running. The fuel pump sounds terrible. Like, you gotta have your foot on the gas. Just a little bit, feather it. You give it too much, it tries to bog down. But it sounds good. No weird noises or anything like that. I think it's just a fuel pump and bad gas, but get it all swapped out and see how that works. Thanks for shutting yourself off for me. Appreciate it. There's not much to listen to with the crew cab right now, but it'll probably sound something like rum, 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 rum. You know, something like that. The things I can't start up right now include the Mercury, because it's not here, Crystal's 69 Chevelle, which we hope to start a series on, I don't know, maybe to kick off 2020. I feel like that car just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed, but it just needs a lot of like initial body work and stuff that I'm just not ready to tackle right this second, when we have some other things that we can crank out a little quicker and have some fun. It's coming. I promise it's coming. It's just trying to figure out the logistics and the money situation and all of that. But the 240, of course, still doesn't run, and we'll talk about that more in just a second, too. I've gotten a bunch of messages over the last 6 months regarding the tool sets that I use in a lot of my project videos, because last Christmas I got this Ting Tools Monster Mega Master, just enormous tool set, which has been fantastic. But I've also had this little set right here for about 2.5 years now. I've since condensed both sets, so a lot of the more specialty type tools and other things go in the big cabinet, while all of the stuff that I use most of the time is here. So all of the wrenches, various sockets and stuff. The thing that I really like about these sets is that it's super organized. You have all of these trays, and they have quite a range of like tool options and stuff. Everything has a lifetime warranty. I'll be honest, I have broken some tools, you know, probably all my fault, but they have a lifetime warranty on everything, so the exchange process is super simple. If you'd like to learn more about the setups that I have, I put the links in the description box below. This one is especially nice when I'm out here, because put a stool there, get the shop manual out or laptop. It's almost, you know, basically the perfect size for a little outside desk. The last time you guys saw this thing, we fired it up for the first time after installing the new engine. Ever since, I've just been doing, you know, all the typical checks and balances. I've been driving it around town, doing the initial break-in, got that initial oil change out of the way, and everything's working out fantastic so far. It drives phenomenal. Like, I cannot believe it. It also sounds amazing. I'm pretty impressed with how good this exhaust turned out, because it seems like these 4.3s, like, it's just hard to get them to sound great because it's a V6, it's not a V8. You're never gonna make it sound just like a V8, and sometimes they can get like really screechy and drony and stuff, but this setup turned out fantastic. I'm still trying to break it in, so I can't do like too many revs, but I'll give you a few so you can hear what it sounds like, you know, under a little load. So what's next for the Jimmy series? I'm about to dive into some interior videos. One is going to cover sound deadening, thanks to our friends over at Second Skin. I used a lot of their products in the 240SX, and that thing sounds like a bank vault on the inside. So we're gonna deaden things up, reduce some vibrations, and do some content on that, as well as a very thorough interior restoration video. I've already started working on, you know, getting some of the messed up upholstery repaired. We're gonna do some content with Lexol, get the leather looking beautiful, fix everything else that's broken. Also, special mention to Covercraft. They sent over a lot of really, really awesome stuff for the Jimmy, including their top of the line dash cover, the Ultimat. I still have to Velcro it down. It's not, you know, down fully yet, but that looks awesome. We got floor mats, a car cover. I'll talk about all of that during the interior restoration video, but many thanks. Of course, a huge thanks to O'Reilly Auto Parts as well for all of their support with the channel. We're gonna have a lot of fun with these various projects throughout the year and, you know, hopefully years to come. The tricky part is just gonna be trying to figure out how to balance content between them all, because there's too much going on right now, but it's okay. It's better to have more content possibilities than not so many content possibilities. But with the house and stuff, scheduling is going to be kind of erratic, so please bear with me. I really appreciate all of the support and understanding. And, you know, the best way to stay updated is to follow all my social media channels, SaabKyle04 LLC, SaabKyle04 LLC, long day, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's go ahead and talk about the sound system that I had planned for the Jimmy, and then we'll finish up with the 240. Also, before I forget, car reviews are coming back as a regular feature of the channel. I'm starting to take press cars again, so if everything works out, there should be a weekly review. So, review every single week in the old school POV SaabKyle04 format that everybody has requested for a long time now. I've already done a handful of vehicles in that old style, including the Slingshot, so if you haven't been able to keep up with the reviews, please go check them out. Let me know what you think. I think they turned out fantastic. They're a lot more fun to make, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to go back to that old format, because it's just, it's wonderful. Fun, easy to edit, and it gets the videos out quicker. So weekly reviews coming up soon. As far as the sound system upgrades that I had planned for the Jimmy, I have a bunch of stuff from Sundown Audio. They're a local North Carolina company, and they make awesome stuff. And there's a place up in Winston-Salem called Extraordinary Audio. They were going to help me get all of this together and do some custom fabrication, and it was going to be really cool. I'm a little overwhelmed with content, so to speak, as far as what I need to do. Like, you know, having a lot of content possibilities, again, is wonderful, but trying to figure out how to balance it is the tricky part. I feel like doing all of that work on the Jimmy is kind of a waste of time and money when I can just get a replacement stock radio because this one stopped working. That being said, I think that I'm going to save the major custom sound system for the crew cab. I think it makes more sense. I think there will be some people disappointed that I might not do it on the Jimmy, but it is what it is. Like, I don't expect to keep the Jimmy forever, but this crew cab is going to be so fun and so unique by the time it's all said and done. I don't want to just let that thing go. So I feel like it's more worth doing that on something that's a little bit more special and custom, if that makes sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. At the end of the day, you know, whatever makes sense is what I'll do, but I'm definitely interested in hearing from you guys on that, so let me know. Last but certainly not least is the 240SX. This is my longest running project. The biggest problem with this is that it's just taken so long to make progress, because I started really diving into this car when we were thinking about selling our house. So between that and getting this shop built, the lift in order and everything, it took way too long to make progress, and the views on it just tanked. It still gets some decent views, all things considered, with how YouTube is nowadays, but you know, the Jimmy outperforms it every single time. The Jimmy, it's weird. I'm thankful for it, but it's weird. I think the internet is just saturated with 240 content. But where I'm at with this right now, I have been doing a lot of test fitting and cutting. I have a tremendous amount of stuff from Chase Bays over here that I'm trying to figure out where to put, like reservoirs and stuff. I have their tucked radiator that I have already cut provisions for down there, so it tucks fully underneath that center bar right there, so that's nice. I pulled the RB out of it because the next big step is to start welding up holes, clean things up, and get the entire bay repainted. But I've hit a wall mentally, and just with everything else that's going on, like I almost need to put this car to the side for a little bit until I can get some friends to come help me make some major progress on this, because between learning how to weld, I don't really want to learn how to weld on this car and mess something up. It's just, I'm a little skittish about it, I guess, because there's so much that's going in it. There's so much money that's being spent on this car that I need to take a step back. I need to work with more people that really know what they're doing so something doesn't get done wrong. I love to learn. I've learned a tremendous amount of stuff with the Jimmy. I can't wait to dive into that crew cab because I'll get a hand at fabrication and stuff. But this is not a car that I want to rush. I have an RB25 for it. I've been working on tracking down original sensors and stuff like that, getting a coil pack conversion kit so I can run 370Z coils, an LS1 alternator. I have stuff being powder coated right now. I still need to put my intake manifold together and just figure out where all of this stuff is gonna go. At some point, I'm gonna do an RB26 cover conversion. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot. So I just think, based on stress levels and just all the other stuff that needs to get done, I feel like this is gonna have to get moved out of the shop because it's a pain in the butt to move. It's not gonna be running soon. I had really hoped that I might get it running by Memorial Day weekend, but it just didn't work out with scheduling, and then we broke ground on the house, and you better believe I was out there digging some holes. So much rather be doing that than stressing over this car. It'll get done, but like I said, it's not something I want to rush. I almost want to put this over there, tuck the Chevelle at the back of the side of the shop over there, put the 240 in the front facing out so I can still get access to the engine bay. I can still work on it, but it's not taking up vital space here if I need to get access to the lift and stuff. Plus, I need to bring the frame for the Crew Cab S10 over here so we can start test fitting the suspension components and stuff when they start arriving, which, you know, should be relatively soon. We can get that rolling pretty quickly so it can be moved out of the way. But I want that truck to be a big focus, wrapping up the Jimmy and doing that simple restoration on the red S10 extended cab. If there's opportunities to do 240 videos, by all means I'm gonna do them, and I know that there's gonna be some people disappointed that I might not make a ton of content on the 240 right now, but you know, hopefully you understand kind of where I'm coming from. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You know, if you wouldn't mind if I took a little bit of a break on this and kind of recouped a little while, but you know, rest and recharge and just hit that car when the time is right. Well guys, that pretty much wraps up all of my major updates. I appreciate you taking your time to listen to me. I know some of it was probably a little bit more rambling than I would have wanted to do, but you know, it's nice being able to talk things out sometimes, especially when you're feeling a little stressed, like the whole weight of the world on you. But at the end of the day, it's good stress. It's just trying to figure out what to do next and the direction and planning and stuff. I am bummed out on the 240. I know a lot of people, they say all the time, you know, where's the 240 content? Why don't you finish the 240 before doing something else or whatever? But I just don't have the skill and the capability to finish that car by myself. There's a lot of stuff that I still need to learn, and again, I don't want to do something wrong just out of, you know, blatantly not knowing something. So everything happens for a reason. That car is going to be amazing. It's going to be a dream when it's all finished, and I'm okay to wait for that. You know, all good things in life are worth the wait. I'm down to only one parts Jimmy now. I got rid of the original $400 Jimmy a while back, so we have the white one. This is the one that I talked about in the video stripping down the Crew Cab S10 frame. It's got a full interior, beautiful interior that we're going to be putting into that truck, and this thing has been invaluable with spare parts, so it's definitely been worthwhile having. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much once again for taking your time to watch the video and to follow all of the updates with the channel. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all good things. I'm very excited for what's about to come. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so, because there's always a lot more where that came from. And don't forget to leave a like below if you enjoyed the video. It really means a lot, and it helps support the video across YouTube. So very, very important. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.